we have as key panelists Anup Singh, Special Secretary, Information Technology and Communications, Government of Andhra Pradesh. May I request Mr. Singh to join us at the top table here? Mr. Singh? All right. We have Mr. Rajneesh Singh, Regional Bureau Director for Asia, ISOC. Rajneesh? All right. Okay. Then we have Dr. Ravina Agarwal, Program Officer for Media Rights and Access, Ford Foundation. Dr. Agarwal. We have Mahabir Pun, Founder, Nepal Wireless. Mr. Pun. We have Michael Jingold, Chief Executive Officer, Air Jaldi. We have Mr. Mahesh Venkateshwaran, CEO, KGVK Social Enterprises Limited. Mr. Venkateshwaran. And Mr. Amitabh Singhal, Telecom Consultant and former President of ISFI. Mr. Singhal. May I now welcome all of you on the top table, please. And with that, I would like to also welcome the chairperson for this session, I guess the most important person, Henriette Esther Sen, Executive Director, Association for Progressive Communications, APC, South Africa. Ma'am. Before I hand over to the chairperson, just a brief announcement on the format. I have been asked to limit every speaker to 3 minutes and then have a couple of rounds of discussion. With that, I hand it over to the chairperson for conducting the session. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Welcome, everyone. Apologies for starting late, and thanks to everyone for participating. I think that we should just launch straight into asking the speakers to tell us why they think that spectrum and how we approach spectrum, I think both from the policy and regulatory perspective, as well as from the application and implementation perspective. And you've got 3 minutes. And why is this issue important? And what do you want the people in this room to take away with them? Start for us.
Afternoon, my name is Amitabh Singhal. I used to run an organization once upon a time called ISP Association of India. Come from a time when the spectrum and the free spectrum that we talk about, the ISM band that we talk about, was not really free. It was all licensed and paid for. So we had a long, hard struggle with the government in convincing them to follow the global standards of at least having some free spectrum, so that accessibility to internet and went up. I think it was way back in 2005, 2006 when that happened. So we have come a long way from then, from getting 2.4, 2.3, 2.4 megahertz, gigahertz band freed up, became license free, and it became royalty free, etc. And over a period of time, then 5 gigahertz and 3.3 gigahertz bands were also freed up. So okay, so that's the background. I think to come straight into the situation where Andrea says, okay, let's launch into what we really need it for. I think, one of the things that when we talk about spectrum today, currently, we see a lot of, at least within Indian perspective, there's a lot of stories that we have heard about what happens with spectrum, because that's from the license front, right? So without getting into that, let's just stick to, the fact that we are here to basically look at ways and means to increase the penetration of internet and how our spectrum can meet the needs. Now, we have heard in the inaugural session from Mr. Ravi Shankar about the laying of fiber all over the place. So that's one part. Idea is to connect all the villages with fiber. But then what happens with the fiber being laid out? What about the last mile? Okay, so there was a time when the government used to tell us that there was fiber already laid out. There were many schemes over a period of time which were basically statewide networks that were set up. It was fiber optic networks connecting all the capitals of the state and the major cities and towns. That is all being aggregated into setting up this NOFN, the National Fiber Optic Network. Now, once the network is laid out, basic aim is to connect all the villages and all the households to provide access to internet. Now, the last mile has always been a challenge in a country like India. We have geographic issues. Okay, we have topology issues. We have accessibility issues in terms of physical accessibility. So which is where spectrum comes in, and I think we all know the fact that spectrum is what helps us to get to the last mile. Okay, and there are many technologies that we are talking about in terms of free spectrum as well. So if we are looking at 2.4, we are looking at 3, we are looking at 5. So there are various stages of evolution that we have been through and we are running through even now. Most of these ISPs that I know of would basically be using 2.4. That's the most widely used spectrum to provide the last mile connectivity. We are also looking at implementing WiMAX, so that's also being discussed. There are operators, telecom operators, who are in the process of doing that. And we are also jumping in our country, leapfrogging actually, to 4G as well. So there are companies which are also now planning and already in the process of implementing LTE as well. So we are at various stages of using spectrum of different kinds. Okay, so both licensed and unlicensed bands are being used to create backhaul, to create last mile access, and also to reach the end user. So that's where we are at from a bigger perspective. So maybe we can go on further.
Thanks. I'm looking at the timekeeper over there. And I think that I'm going to ask the speakers to continue, but I know from experience in working in spectrum that it's one of those things where people often have lots of questions that they are shy to ask sometimes, or sometimes they don't get an opportunity to ask. But it's something that unless you understand exactly what it is that we are talking about, it's not going to make sense to you. So if anybody wants to put up their hand for a question of clarification, please do that. I'm going to take your question. So we'll move on to the next speaker. So please just introduce yourself again. 3 minutes.
Hello. Yeah. I'm Anup Singh. I'm a Special Secretary Information Technology from Government of Andhra Pradesh. Now the communication revolution, which started somewhere in probably 2001, I'll say, or 2000. Communication we started having somewhere, the cell phones and all somewhere in the late 90s. But I remember that was a time when the rates were so high, the people will not talk from the cell phone, they'll give missed calls. They'll give missed calls and then we'll dial from the landline. That because 7 rupees, 8 rupees, that was the charge that time. The revolution started when Reliance entered the market. And they started giving the phones along with those 19,000, 20,000 rupees phones and 40 paisa per minute. Today we are at a stage where almost everybody is there at that particular this thing. So communication has revolutionized the country, no doubt about it. Now coming to the digital revolution, using the communication network. NOFN is a very big dream come true. Very big dream come true, because whosoever has conceptualized the idea, of course, funds are required for everything. And there is no dearth of funds in the government for any good venture. Any good venture, there is no dearth of funds. Now it is reaching the last point of the Gram Panchayats. What next? Till now, the budget that is required, the connectivity that is required, the acceptance of the state government that we are given, that right of way we are going to give free of cost, and whatever goes wrong in digging and all those things, we are going to set the things right. So they are free to lay the cables. All that part we have done. But what next? There are two issues here. One is the last mile connectivity, which I believe people sitting in the panel might be better to speak on. But yes, wireless is a good option. Second, much more important issue than that is rendering content on that. Rendering content on the last mile connectivity. So for this, my experience in the last 6 months that I've been going around, events like this, specifically to learn as to what is going on, specifically to learn from the people as to what is going on. I'm a chemical engineer basically, so I'll talk from the chemical engineering point of view, or for that matter, a housewife point of view. All of you must have seen how the water boils in a pot when you're making tea and all. You see small bubbles rising everywhere. When the same vessel and the same water is heated more, all the bubbles, they start coalescing, they start combining, and the entire waves of water you can see. What we are seeing over here in an event like this, or in similar events that we have all been seeing, is all nucleate boiling that is taking place. Small revolutions taking place at different places. Small revolutions in Bibi Nagar, a small revolution in different villages, Nagaon in Tripura, small revolutions in different remote areas. And we have got revolutionaries like the Sarpanches there, or for that matter, Osama he's also revolutionary, trying to bring all such people on one platform. These revolutions are taking place, but the total boiling has not started till now. I mean, we can see a number of, ventures over here and excellent ideas. But why is that idea, whether it's an e-governance project, E is a word which I don't like, because somehow we try to give too much importance to the word E, and we try to, try to make it more jazzy and more, hip. But that E word you forget. The issue here is governance. The issue here is better quality of life. The issue here is better empowerment. The issue here is our own existence as a human being. We feel as a human being, and we don't feel like just, leftover people when we are dealing with, government departments and all. So now, this is a revolution. What I am seeing now with the NOFN, with the connectivity that's coming up. The entire water is going to boil now. Entire water is going to boil now. Whether you talk about the 2,000 rupee cell phones with touch screens that are coming from China, whether we talk about Akash that is coming through. I was just talking to somebody with Akash and with this wireless connectivity. It's a revolution in the making. Important thing here is content. Government departments, yes, their services have to come over there. Education has to come over there. Health has to come over there. So lot of things. I'm sorry if I have crossed the time. But these are all thoughts that are going on in my mind, and I try to talk to the concerned departments also. The content is very important, and maybe we are on the verge. Maybe I'll just tell one small example. Sorry, just going off the time. I remember when I used to get my tickets reserved, I was studying in University of Roorkee doing my engineering here. So we were students, we used to get that concession pass. That will give us 50% concession on the train tickets. So we'll go in the window and we'll tell, and we were not the people who will give any extra money for any ticket, because we never had extra money. So we'll go on the train window, the ticketing window, and we'll ask that fellow that, uncle, you give me the reservation for so and so place, from this place to this place. That fellow sitting over there is a bored, he's a totally bored, typical government babu. He will say, nahi hai. He'll look at us, he knows this fellow, poor fellow, he cannot give anything, look at his clothes and all. He'll tell us, nahi hai. So we'll say, no, uncle, wo dekhiye, you just look at there in that page, so and so, I can see one seat vacant. This generation, my children, they have not seen those times. They have not seen those times. Now it's all on the mobile, it's all on e-ticketing. What I am saying, why I give that example is, this is a revolution in the making. What we are seeing is a revolution in the making, and maybe the next generation will take things for granted. They will think that things always happened like this. No, things not always happened like this. Things happened what they are happening now, and you can see the changes taking place. So I wish all the best to the thing, and I would like to have a lot of technical guidance from the people, experts sitting over here. Thanks.
And thanks, Mr. Singh. Maybe if one of the other panelists want to respond specifically to that question about the small revolutions, and what do you think really needs to be done now in terms of wireless to give those revolutions the fire, or to put the fire under the pot that you need to have it boil properly? Ravina, do you want to?
Yeah, the word revolution, I think it's important to be a little bit cautious about that, because although we don't want to lose the optimism in the moment and the opportunity that it does provide, I think there are two concerns that I have about the word and the assumption that we've all somehow arrived at a mobile platform, is that we do see the potential for growth, but at the same time we see enormous inequity. So I think we have to always keep that in mind and look for equitable and invest in equitable solutions, and that's one. And the second is that, yes, content is really, really important, but we can't take the issue of service provision for granted. It's almost like that will be built, let's not worry about that, and let's just focus on the content. I think that content, I completely share, you're pointing out that this is very important. At the same time, because of practices and policies and business models, we haven't yet seen the realization of the technical solutions that might bring us all onto equitable platforms. So, Amitabh, you said that it was only in 2005 and 6 that we had 2.4 bands, delicensed. And this kind of allowed for the entry of people who are committed to providing bandwidth to rural areas, to excluded areas, which are not necessarily going to be the revolutionary, the big mobile scale, huge volume earners that has become our USP as Indians. This is our demographic dividend, and whatever the hell, we provide, there's somebody to buy it. And this is what I learned from every time I have a problem with Airtel, even in a very elite setting that we all live in, where we have access, that really nobody has a skill power, or they don't care to fix it, because there's always a next customer around the corner. Well, I don't think that promise of scale has been delivered when, more than 80% of the country doesn't have access to the internet. So we might be on 4G platforms or LTE, we might be going into all kinds of technological, technologies and differential uses of spectrum, but we haven't yet seen that success story for the poor. So I want to really emphasize that we really need a lot of committed players in this. Committed players, whether they're NGOs or they're small and medium enterprises, that partner with the big telecoms or that work independently to provide that customer who they care about, which might not be possible in the big business models of the telcos. Yet we need to have good partnerships between government and independent businesses, between telcos and independent businesses, to serve the end user, that's the customer. So I think I welcome the delicensing and the opportunity for new ideas and innovations from all kinds of people, and I also welcome policies that would encourage small and medium internet service providers. So this is what I think about the wireless space today.
So, Ravina, so you're saying that delicensing is important, and we